So when you watch a stock market crash or just static on a TV screen, your default assumption is probably that you're looking at randomness.
Right, like a roll of the dice.
Exactly. We really like having this bucket labeled chaos to just throw unpredictable events into. But, well, what if that bucket is actually completely empty?
Yeah, that's the big question.
Welcome to today's deep dive, custom tailored for you. Our mission today is to unpack a massive stack of sources covering Timothy J. Dillon's Omega Genesis protocol and curvature variable physics. Basically, this framework argues that randomness is just an illusion.
Right. It claims that literally everything from the stock market to fundamental physics and, even human morality is governed by predictable geometric curvature.
Which is wild, and I really need to ground this because geometric curvature governing reality sounds huge.
Oh, it's the absolute definition of rewriting the rules of reality.
So let's start with pure math, right? The sources focus on Dillon's omega calculus, which targets the notorious Collatz Conjecture, the 3n plus 1 problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the one that stumped mathematicians for decades.
Right. And traditional math treats this sequence like a chaotic pinball machine. But Dillon is basically mapping the hidden slope of the table itself, right, with this 88 theorem proof.
Yes, exactly. Instead of trying to calculate the exact path of a single bouncing pinball, he maps the shape of the table. And his Collatz harmonic flow operator proves it's actually shaped like a continuous funnel.
A funnel.
Right.
Yeah.
So no matter how wildly the sequence bounces around, there's this entropic membrane, a strict mathematical boundary.
Oh, wow. So it can't escape.
Exactly. Any sequence that tries to expand chaotically hits this boundary and is forced back down. It mathematically collapses to the bottom, trapped inside what he calls the omega 86 potential.
Okay, so if Dillon can mathematically prove that chaotic number sequences have strict boundaries, the next logical question is, can we apply those boundaries to real-world chaos?
Which naturally scales up to financial markets.
Right. But here's where it gets really interesting because traditional risk models, like value at risk, they just use historical data. Are you saying they're just blindly guessing?
Pretty much, yeah. They're guessing the future based on the past. But Dillon's Omega Genesis structural risk engine ignores probability entirely.
Wait, entirely?
Totally. It reads the pure geometry of the market's micro-movements. So take this anomaly he classifies as the pressure cooker.
The pressure cooker.
Yeah, instead of looking at past crashes, the engine just measures compressed volatility. It maps the physical pressure building up in that geometric funnel. It predicts the impending price gap because, well, the structure simply cannot hold the energy anymore.
No historical precedent needed. That is fascinating. And because math governs physical space, this goes straight into physical infrastructure, too. The sources highlight curvature variable physics, which argues that the speed of light isn't constant.
Right, it changes based on geometric curvature.
Which blows my mind.
Yeah, his company, 206 Innovation, Inc., is using this to revolutionize 6G networks. By treating the speed of light as a variable, they actually bend the signals along natural geometric curves around obstacles.
So practically eliminating signal loss.
Exactly.
Okay, but mapping light in stocks is one thing. The sources take this to a wild extreme. The framework scales up to its ultimate conclusion, which is human behavior and theology.
Yeah, this is where it gets steep.
I mean, I have a really hard time believing you can actually write a differential equation for kindness.
I know, it sounds like pure theology. But the omega point theorems that he submitted to Pope Leo IV strictly treat human morality as a closed thermodynamic system.
Wow. Modeling moral action like physics.
Precisely. Syntropy, which maps to unitive grace or kindness, acts as energy that actively lowers structural fragmentation.
Like cleaning a messy room.
Right. And dispersion or sin is the energy that increases that chaos.
So human behavior just becomes a geometric force. It all pulls back to Dillon's theorem 88, right? Which says return is not an outcome. Return is a law.
That's the core of it.
So for you listening, the next time you encounter a chaotic system in your life or work, you have to ask yourself, is this actually random? Or is it just a predictable geometric correction you haven't mapped yet?
Right. Yeah, there's one more thing. The sources note Dillon used AI as an architectural multiplier to draft this massive multi-domain physics framework.
Yeah, in just 8 months, right?
In just 8 months.
I mean, if a single individual can rewrite fundamental reality that fast with AI, what does the future of scientific discovery look like for the rest of us?